Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cosplay Cafe. In the cafe this week, we are serving up a steaming hot cup of Disneybounding cosplay. But first, we're going to make sure that you listen to our wonderful Cosplay Cafe theme.
I'm too sexy for my cosplay. I'm too sexy for my cosplay. On Cosplay Cafe. Yeah, I'm a cosplayer. You know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the con floor. Yeah, on the con floor. Oh, on the con floor. Yeah, I do my little turn on the con floor. And I'm too sexy for my cosplay. I'm too sexy for my cosplay. On Cosplay Cafe. And I'm too sexy for this song.
Pokeballs by Crayle is your one-stop shop for handmade magical creations that celebrate all the Pokemon universe has to offer. Available on CrayleVanest.com, that's CrayleVanest.com, and possibly coming to a con near you.
Hello, everyone. We are back. Let me bring in my lovely co-host, Kelly of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. Ugh.
We can talk tonight. Hi, everyone. Thank you for us last week. Somehow the Phoenix connection happened again, and Crayle and I both got hit with tornadoes. Well, okay, we didn't get hit with tornadoes. We got hit with tornado warnings and serious thunderstorms that took out both our power. Our internet was just shoddy. And we're in different states, so figure that out.
Always with the Phoenix connection. We don't have to be nearby.
I know, right? But tonight it's knock on wood, mostly clear skies. It's a little gray, but no tornadoes in sight, no thunderstorms. So here's hoping the lights stay on.
Yeah, here's hoping because I noticed that this morning. This morning we had like rain. I messaged Kelly and I was like, "Hey, hi," and she's like, "Yeah, we have a cosplay cafe rescheduled tonight, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course we do." So of course it's raining again today.
Always,
So
always. And we have a wonderful returning guest, our friend Ruby, who is actually one of the two people who introduced us. We adore Ruby. Ruby is just so talented. She makes most of her stuff. So she calls herself T-Shirt Cosplay. She makes most of her stuff out of T-shirt material, which if you've ever sewed, you know how hard that material is to work with. It's so comfy, but so hard to work with, and Ruby makes everything look good. She is amazing. She is a sewing master. We bow at her feet. And she when she said when she was talking to me about returning, I was like, "Well, I've been wanting to do a Disney bounding episode since we started this show, and Ruby does Disney bounding better than almost anyone I know. She goes to Disney quite often, and her Disney bounding looks are incredible. So I'm really excited that she's here to talk to you all about Disney bounding. And for the uninitiated, we will define that once we bring Ruby in. So let's bring Ruby in, and I'm still working on the photos. So you talk to Ruby while I finish with that because we're a week behind and we're still not prepared.
hey, I cleaned everything out from the previous episode at least.
Thank
And
you.
then I didn't have what I needed and I could have found what I needed and then didn't find the So this is Ruby. Ruby made my Phoenix suit. Both of the ones you guys have ever seen when you follow Phoenix Sisters cosplay stuff.
Yeah. Ruby got you
That was a
into cosplay. Sorry, what were you going to say, Ruby?
I was gonna say the Phoenix costume was very fun to make. I only stabbed Crayle a couple times.
Only a couple times. I only bled once. I think it was only once, right?
I don't know. It's red material. It's hard to tell.
Thank
Yeah, so
goodness for that, actually.
for those who haven't heard the story, so my Phoenix suit, instead of wearing yellow boots that come up to a point above my knee or making boot covers, we were like, why don't we just make the legs yellow? And to sew four-way stretch spandex over four-way stretch spandex, we realized that if it was going to line up right in the right places, that I would need to be wearing one suit while we sewed the legs on that were pieces of other, like, following the same pattern for the suit. And so I was just sitting there, like, with the suit halfway up because bending and stretching and stuff while it got sewn on was pulling the fabric too much. And so I'm just sitting there half dressed, getting stabbed in the leg occasionally while Ruby sews it on over my leg. So that was only like my fourth ever costume too. When I commit to something, I really commit.
It's true.
Yep. So Ruby, let's see, we've had you on the show before, so I'm trying to think of a weird question to ask you that we definitely wouldn't have asked you before. I mean, since this is a Disney episode, what's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you on one of your family Disney trips?
Probably when we went with my mother-in-law, watching her interact with Captain Jack Sparrow. Because
Oh,
it's really weird watching your mother-in-law flirt with someone.
Oh, that's so
and be
cute.
flirted with by someone.
That's adorable.
I'm sure he did, though. I'm sure he did.
Oh yeah, he was very much Captain Jack.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah. So we're here talking about Disneybounding. I'm going to go ahead and let you do the definition. I've never been to Disney. So for those who may have joined us recently, we're Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. This is Ruby of T-Shirt Cosplay. We are talking about Disneybounding, which I'm going to have Ruby define for you right now.
So the best way to describe Disneybounding, as an adult, you cannot wear a costume, like a full costume, when you go to Disney, unless it's a special thing like Star Wars nights, or when we went for the Halloween party. But you can find ways to represent the character. So Disneybounding is taking like specific aspects of a character and incorporating that into your outfit. So like tonight, the outfit I have on, which was one of the first ones that I did, is representing Belle. It's got my red roses on the shoulder. It was a yellow sundress, and there are yellow roses and a ruffle at the bottom. I've got some of the pictures that I'll show up tonight have been some of the stuff I've done more recently as I've gotten a little bit more comfortable. And then this year itself, I'm doing a challenge every month where I take one piece of clothing and then try and do 3 different Disney bounds out of it throughout the months. So this month, I've got a purple dress that I will be using for all of them. And I posted the first one last Wednesday, and it was Maleficent. There are 2 other villains coming this month because the purple dress just worked way too well for some villains.
Right. I've got Maleficent represented here on my punk Aurora,
Yes.
the dragon pin.
I'm going to nerd out for a minute and tell you why purple represents villains so often. It's
have we never
theory.
talked about? If we've never talked about this on the show, well, we can again. It's a really cool tidbit.
Yeah, it's color theory. So primary colors often are used to represent heroes across movies, comics especially, and then purples and greens are very often villains, and you see that in Disney movies so often. So that's why so many villains are purple. My favorite color is purple. Make whatever conclusions you will from that. But yeah, and a lot of times purple and green combined means that person is extra villainous. And of course, the pastels are princessy, or the white is virginal, pure. And but yeah, purple and green, just those off colors just mean someone is a bad person. So
Which is actually kind of nice when you're watching a Disney movie, you know who it is just by seeing their outfit when they walk on the first time. You're like, oh, you're going to be the bad guy for this movie. I had to air quote because, well, and there's a couple movies where the person in green is not the bad guy, but we won't talk about him tonight.
I was gonna reference that because they did it was a bait and switch.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
They wanted you to think he was gonna be the bad guy. But no, we won't talk about him. And now we all have that song stuck in our head because it's a catchy song. I have been enjoying your challenges, though. I've been enjoying how creative you are with each outfit and what all you can do to make them Disney bonding. So why don't you talk a little more about that and about how you can basically, you can thrift this, you can take an everyday outfit, and what do you do to make it into a character? So what advice would you give someone?
So my first advice is, number one, figure out what character you want and get a bunch of reference pictures. So like I said, the one I just did was Maleficent. I of course did the purple base dress because purple base dress is Maleficent. And I made sure I wanted to be something that I could wear for the challenge this year. If I go to Disney, I'll even do ears. So I've got horns that I wear when I go to Disney. But for the challenge, I'm wanting it to be something I can wear out in public. And if people recognize it, they do. If not, I know what I'm wearing and I'm happy about the fact that I'm representing a Disney character. So I have my black belt with her, and I had a cape because I think you should wear capes anyway. They're not just for costuming. That had purple lining. And then I believe I did my pink boots or my pink shoes because certain images you see of Maleficent, she's got a little pink detailing towards the bottom of her skirt. So you want to take and find something that represents that character. One of the ones the last one that I took pictures of, I decided to do a gray dress, and I'm doing one of the kittens from the Aristocats. So I'm doing the little gray cat, and I can never pronounce that poor little kitten's name, but it's a darker gray dress, lighter gray dress, and then a red choker because he has the red collar.
Oh gosh, now I'm trying to remember all three cats' names.
I know.
Chime in the comments because I'm drawing a blank, and my kids watched that movie on repeat for a 2-year time period. So I'm a little ashamed of myself right now.
My nephew too, he'd come up to me like, I want to watch the kitty cats. And so we'd put Aristocats on. And
that is that's a great movie too.
Yeah. Speaking of the comments, David McDonald says, you guys even have twin weather, talking about how at the very beginning of the episode, Kelly and I were mentioning that this episode got rescheduled to tonight because even though we're in different states, we both had tornado warnings and the power flickering in and out on the same night. So neither of us could host it. So
it was wild. I was literally driving through flood weather to get one of my kids from school. Luckily, I have a high car, but some of the cars had water up halfway up their doors. And I was like, why are y'all driving through that spot? You should not be. I was afraid those cars were going to sink.
I looked all excited about Kelly driving through floods. That's not why I was excited. I just remember two of the cats' names. The gray one is Berlioz, and the orange one is Toulouse.
And then Maria, of course, is the little girl.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, we did it.
So, Ruby, what are I'm not going to ask you your favorite Disney movie because that's like choosing a favorite child. What are some of your favorite Disney movies? Just give me a top 5 or something.
Well, so absolute favorite is not hard for me. Snow White. I always will go for the original. Matter of fact, a lot of my costuming related to Disney is somehow Snow White related. Um, then modern would be, oh, that's a hard one. That's where it gets a little bit more tricky. Probably Tangled. I like Rapunzel. I like the songs. They get stuck in my head, which I will probably be singing Rapunzel songs tomorrow at work. Aladdin also is a big favorite of ours, but our first dance at our wedding was to A Whole New World. And then one of our Disney trips, we got to meet Aladdin and Jasmine, and we told them that, and then had a conversation about married life with Aladdin and Jasmine. So,
That's
and then
adorable.
Sleeping Beauty. But if you're going to do a Sleeping Beauty costume, it has to be blue. Like the most pivotal scene in the entire movie is her in the blue dress. So
Make it pink. Make it blue.
Well, or
Make
yes,
it pink.
you can do both,
Make it
but
blue.
you better have the blue reference. My actual Disney bound that was for Sleeping Beauty is the blue dress.
Oh, yes. Well, it's so silly. So obviously, Ruby, you know this, but the whole reason Sleeping Beauty is branded in pink is because they decided Cinderella should be branded in blue, when in the original movie, her dress, or the original coloring of the movie, her dress was a silvery white, but they decided to recolor it, tweak it so it would be more blue because they thought it looked too bridal. And so, and then they were like, well, we can't have two princesses in blue, which is, again, silly.
Very
So
silly.
then
They didn't have the same like face modeling. They didn't have the same hair. Their dresses were completely different cuts. Like the shoulders alone on the Aurora dress are so
Mhm.
unique and striking. Like
they absolutely could have had the same color. Like it's so goofy. And
Well,
also recoloring Cinderella's dress was silly because having it be silvery white was perfect.
it was like the
Oh,
magical
geez.
shimmers turned solid into a dress. Like yeah.
well, and then when
Oh.
they did Ariel, they put Ariel in the pink dress. So we still have two princesses in the same dress. And once again, not the proper Ariel dress. Like,
Well, and all of the branding for Ariel, they don't have her in the pink dress. Like, they usually give her a seafoam green dress.
mhm.
Because Ariel's a little bit villainous, I guess. Actually, Ariel's colors as a mermaid are green and purple, which is hilarious considering the color theory. Though that could also tie into the fact that she does not feel like her true self until she gets on land, because then she gets the princess colors. I don't know.
Well, that
Or
We do
just
not have
if you're
time
a
to unpack
parent,
this.
or if you're a parent, then teenage rebelliousness is the villain of the movie.
exactly, yes.
There we go. This I could talk about this for hours. Like we do not have time to unpack this, but if you want us to, maybe you should throw some money our way and we'll do a special Patreon only episode on Phoenix Sisters.
We totally
Y'all
could.
know you want this. We could. We could start doing Patreon exclusive video content about all our little tangents.
Oh gosh. Now then we'd have to think of a name for it and everything. Before we get into the cosplay catwalk and stuff, I have oh gosh, no, I didn't put that one in here either. Why didn't I have any of the photos I wanted? I wanted to include a close up of when I do my makeup. I didn't get my makeup done because I was on another stream, not my face live and stuff, but our friend Case on Twitch has been super supportive lately, and so he was going to let people know to come over here if and when their Twitch live stream gets done on time. So it's twitch.tv/Slayer. It's Case, Kase. If you ever want to check that out, it's a lot of like D&D and video games that have that D&D like background flavoring to them discussion, and they do fundraisers really similar to the multiverse fundraiser that we do, where it's all virtual, you attend, you have fun, and they just tell you about the charity.
Yes.
So I didn't do my full face of makeup and then thought that I uploaded the right photo of the makeup for this. Here's one of them.
some
Yeah.
makeup.
Yeah.
I know that's
I don't
not
know.
the Metropolis shoot, but yeah, you do a
Yeah.
good job with the makeup. That's right. You do the pink and blue.
Yeah, because we were talking about the make it pink, make it blue. I bet I could find it really quickly though. I reorganized a bunch of our files lately. You guys should all be proud of me. I better hear applause from like the distance.
Whoa.
Here we go. I did find it. So yeah, half my face is pink and half of my face is blue.
That is impressive.
Yeah. Thank you. And
you need to bring this when you come to visit because it's a big anniversary this year for Sleeping Beauty. What is it? What is the anniversary for Sleeping Beauty this year, Ruby? Do you know? I know it's is it 45th? 50th?
I would have to
It's
look.
one of them.
I was going to say it is
Okay.
in my planner, but I don't remember the date because I have a Disney planner that has all of the fun stuff in it.
Okay, but we need to get your Sleeping Beauty with my Maleficent. Crayle.
yes, we do.
talked
We've
about
never
that.
done them together anyway, and it's like, why?
I don't know. I feel like
It's
that's something.
65th. It's bigger than we thought.
This is my husband. Thomas is saying slow clap exactly 3 times for Crayle. I am in the room with him and not hearing it. So
Lies.
lies. Oh, okay. Now he's doing it.
Okay.
I'm witnessing it.
I was gonna say, Thomas, you should be really happy I did that. That's more time that you get to spend with your wife because she didn't have to.
Yeah, realistically, that's more time I'm spending on something else.
Yeah, we overcommit a little bit. Not that Ruby would know anything about that. How many tabletop role playing and online role playing and LARPs are you in right now?
3. One I have tomorrow night. One I have, and then 2 I have in 2 weeks. One of which I have to run.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
can barely
that's a
make
little
it
bit.
to the one D&D game. We had to write a character who gets bored easily and sometimes just walks off regardless of what's going on to explain my absences.
And
That's
she
the one
does.
that Ruby runs.
Yeah. And she does too. We'll be doing something and she's like, and I'm going to walk that way. And we're like, all right, see you when you can show back up the game.
Yep, part of my character lore is that once in the middle of an adventure, we were rowing upstream and it was slow going and I was bored. So I quit caring about the objective entirely and just Misty stepped off the boat.
That sounds like something you would do in real life if you could.
I probably would. They introduced me to this campaign like 11 weeks late where I just showed up and 2 people knew who I was. And everybody else was just like, what are you doing here? We're about to storm a house full of evil monsters. Who are you?
Oh, that's funny.
And I gave one of them a wooden mouse carving and didn't answer any questions until after we were done slaying things.
Again, it sounds like you're just playing yourself. You would absolutely do that.
Pop in with presents and then pop out. Yeah, that's Crayle.
I only just revealed to them a couple games ago that the presents are how I find them later. I've basically just been GPS tracking them, but the GPS chips are so cute.
Okay, now I'm a little mad. Oh wait, no, I was gonna say now I'm a little mad that you haven't given me any cute GPS trackers, but now I'm gonna check all my presents real quick. Okay.
I was gonna say I've given
I'm
you a
not
lot
gonna.
of jewelry over the years. You don't know.
You have. Wow. I'm not gonna smash any of it because it is really cute. I don't really care.
I have a necklace for you sitting on my kitchen table right now. I was like, Kelly would totally wear this, and it's just sitting there.
Y'all, she's been low jacking me. This is on camera now.
Are any of us surprised?
I don't think she really needs to because we're psychically connected, so she probably already knows where I am. And on that note, maybe we should get up and show off our pretty outfits. I will go first. People have already seen this outfit. This is basically my Belle Poke outfit with a scarf added on to give a little bit of Belle's white look. So we'll see. I do not have room to do the twirl completely, but
Kelly's too sexy for her cosplay. She's too sexy for her cosplay.
sorry, I forgot to sing.
That's okay.
But
all right, I
that
will
is
go next. We never make our guests go first, and you all have seen this one too, unless you've been watching for less than a year. But I'm too sexy for my cosplay. I'm too sexy for my cosplay on Cosplay Cafe.
All right,
And so
rubies.
I don't
Too
have a ton of
sexy
space
for-
either, but
That's okay.
where is? So, like I said, we've got the yellow roses and the ruffle at the bottom to represent the
That is
ball
so
gown.
cute.
And it is like I said, it is all made out of T-shirts, including the roses.
Yeah.
Because
That's impressive.
I was wearing it in Florida, and it was in May. I was going for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. I just want to repeat that I have a beef with all these male animators who don't know what headbands are for, because I keep like brushing my hair out of my eyes, and I shouldn't have to because this costume comes with a headband, but they've always got these floofy hair pieces right in front of the headband. It's like, do you not know what a headband is for? No, they don't. They're like, if their hair doesn't come down and touch their face, how do we know they're a woman?
Right? Like, no,
Crayle.
the headband is not ornamentation, y'all.
There are other things that they put into the female animation that lets you know it's a woman other than just the hair.
Right? So it shouldn't be necessary, but
They also don't know how those things work in real life.
I know. I've got a picture of Power Girl somewhere.
I was gonna say gravity. What's that?
Yep. So on that note, let's go through your pictures and you can tell us about your Disney bound.
Alrighty. So this one here, oh, you can't see the skirt as well, but this is the Han Solo Disney bound, and the skirt is actually a navy blue skirt with constellations that are the different ships of Star Wars.
That is cute.
This is more, and all of these are from Disney by the Disney photo people, because I just have entirely too much fun, once again, at Disney. And we were in Hollywood Studios at the, oh my gosh, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge for these pictures. And if you're dressing like Han Solo, you have to at least have a couple pictures in front of the Millennium Falcon.
Yes. And we can see the skirt a little bit in this last one. That's a really cute outfit. I like it. Did you make this skirt?
Yes.
Oh, so impressive.
This, like I said, is the Maleficent, and since I was at Disney, I had no problems pulling out the ears. Since it was at Disney, the shoes are not quite appropriate, but once again, going for walking around a Disney park all day long and not boots that scream Maleficent. For the one that I did for the challenge, I have on boots, or my pink shoes one, I can't remember, but I have more appropriate Maleficent shoes.
You know what, though? When you're walking, yeah, you got to be comfy.
Oh yeah. This is my Briar Rose. It actually ended up being a little bit more costumey than Disney bound, but I didn't go full costume. We were going and doing the Mickey Halloween party at Disney that year.
You look really cute.
Thank you.
We need to do
Ooh.
Aurora and Briar Rose side by side sometime in like Disney bound style.
Oh yeah. This
Yes.
is Minnie Mouse herself. This one once again is by Disney Photography. We were at Epcot, and I've worn this dress for other things, but when we were preparing for the Disney trip, I'm like, this is just perfect for Minnie Mouse in the white with, or the red with the white polka dots. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's very, very mini. It's perfect.
And this is my favorite mouse himself. So Sorcerer Mickey is my favorite of all the Mickeys. And this
Right.
was outside of Hollywood Studios. Mark is the one that took this picture. But behind me in the picture is the topiary of Sorcerer Mickey and some of the dancing brooms. So I had to stop and take my picture there.
I mean, yeah, mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Mark is not really too much on the Disney bounding, so that's why he's in his typical Shazam outfit there. This is one of my mini Snow White. My ears, I think, actually are the evil queen in this picture.
Hey, it works though.
Same
You're
fandom.
still on.
Okay.
I love it.
You've got to represent the villains a little bit if possible.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a favorite of your Disney bound looks that you've done?
Probably actually the Maleficent. I just have fun in that one, even with or without the ears, because the overshirt is just so much fun to wear. It is got the long like drapiness in the back, and so it's kind of got the mini cape going. This
Mhm.
one here was in a like black dress, the purple dress one I did most recently. I kind of like a little bit more, but we also, me and my mom made the purple dress that I was wearing, and so any chance I get to wear it, I have fun wearing it too.
It's a really good look.
Thank you.
And we also have a few viewer submissions, so let's run through those. We have
This
King
is
Beast
Mark
too.
Desjarnais and his wife Ashley, King Beast 1354. He's been on the show 2 times, and they were both excellent episodes. And anytime I see him at an event, he's just so full of positivity. And he has a beast costume that's like the beast,
Mhm.
that is amazing. So I'm not surprised that his Disney bound, they're also doing Belle and the Beast. So sorry to just
Look how
jump over
cute
you,
they
Kelly,
look.
but I wanted to make sure we mentioned that he's got a like beast cosplay.
Oh, you're totally fine. And this is La Lathiel, who just looks absolutely adorable in a Leia bound. I believe this is a Leia bound.
I
And
believe it is, yeah.
so if we're wrong, we're turning in our nerd cards. It's okay. But she looks fantastic. Just loving this look. And then we have our friends Brendan and Lexi, Gingy We've Met Cosplay, and Alexandra A. Kane, underscore snapshots.98. And this is their Han and Leia Disney bound. They are absolutely adorable. I love their couple cosplay. They just look great. So this is a really great shot. And oh, I'll let you do this one because I did
Oh,
last.
Yeah, so this is Wonderland Duo Cosplay. So these are mine and Andrea's, and now Kelly's, because Kelly got to meet them last year, didn't you, Kelly?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
so
did.
so these are some of our friends from the Memphis area who do Memphis Cosplay, Cause, with Andrea, and they are lovely, and suddenly both of their first names are completely flying out of my head. I swear, if I were to walk right up to them at a con, I'd be
Garrett
like,
and
"Hi,
Nikki. Garrett and Nikki.
Jared and Nikki." That's it. I was like, I'm gonna feel
He put
silly
you
when
on
I
the spot.
finally, yeah,
Apparently,
this.
names are not our strong suit this week. I don't know. I
Well,
don't know,
Kelly, you
y'all.
should have given me back the brain cell, the one brain cell we share, if you wanted me to introduce the next cosplayers.
Yeah, I don't know. But we love Garrett and Nikki. They are so talented and they are Disney nerds, hardcore Disney nerds. I feel like all our friends have to be Disney nerds. It's like a rule. And
And
yes, here we are with our
Andrea,
Andrea.
Robin, and La Lythiel. Oh gosh, Andrea's gonna have to come on the next show and be like, edit for last week's episode. um,
Well, she's going to be on Friday, so she can correct us.
right. Oh my gosh, there's just so much love for Sleeping Beauty this episode. I didn't even think about it until we were actually airing it, but um here we have these are the three fairy godmothers, right? From the
Yes, from Sleeping Beauty. Look at how
yeah.
cute they look. Andrea, I believe Andrea made all three of these dresses because Andrea is just that cool. Like,
I
she's so
I think she
talented.
did.
I know
And like they were looking
they're
forward to this
rocking.
trip for so long, and I'm so glad they got to go, even though I'm jealous every time somebody I know goes to Disney. Like
Same. But they rock this look. And Andrea's wearing a wig in this picture, and she wore that wig all day at Disneyland.
I
So
don't
that is commitment.
Andrea's
No.
patience to wear a wig in October
Mm-mm.
every day that she goes to work at Target, she wears a different wig every day and wears it for her whole shift. And I'm like, I don't know how she does it, because there are early episodes of this show before we had an outro video where the last frame of the show is me like this about to take my wig off. Like, and that's an hour.
Yes.
She is a wig
And
queen.
she is, and her hair is so long. It's at least as long as mine, if not longer, and just as thick as mine. I can barely do wigs anymore. So, and we have William Brian Huff in the comments saying, hey, this is
Hi.
a photo. He is so talented. We adore him. Y'all need to check him out.
You all have
He has his
seen, even if
own.
you don't know it, you have seen a ton of his photography, because he is a prolific cosplay photographer. And so, like, especially our friends down near Andrea have had a lot of his photos get submitted. Brian, next time I visit the Memphis area, I need to figure out a time to do a shoot with you, even if we're not at the same con at the same time. Because I was telling, I don't remember if it's Andrea or Robin recently, but I was like, I'm just jealous that I haven't done one of these photo shoots yet. They look so good.
Same. Yep. Same Z's. Yeah. Well, and so he also has his own podcast. He has his own cosplay magazine. You all need to be following this guy. He's awesome. We love
Yeah,
him.
so it's a photo. I think I know how to spell it. He can correct us if we're wrong, but it should look like
HUFFO.
this. Yeah. So HUFFOTO if you're just listening to the audio. That's Brian Huff's amazing like photography and cosplay content there.
And aside from the submissions, we've also got a few more of. So that's the full look of Crayle's Punk Sleeping Beauty. And that's both of us doing our Punk Sleeping Beauty and I was gonna say Punk Sleeping Beauty and Punk Aurora, Punk Ariel and Punk Aurora. It is not the night for us to be on air talking. Words are hard, okay?
It's not. I have gotten so much mileage out of this costume, though. Like, it's one of my favorite casual mashups, and then Disney stuff comes up so often that I'm like, hey, if I don't have to make an entirely new costume for this 3-day con that I'm going to, where I do have to make 2 others or something, then heck yeah, I will use this one again. And I've done slightly different looks, and you all don't feel, since we do cosplay advice on this podcast, right? Don't feel like you have to make a new costume for every single convention you go to. Like, if something made you happy to wear once, it's probably going to make you happy to wear again. So do it. You know, you can upgrade, you can change things up. Like, you've seen 2 different makeup looks and no makeup for this one now. Like, yeah, don't feel like you have to make a new costume for every big convention you do. I know some cosplayers feel pressure to do that.
I sometimes put pressure on myself to do that, and it's stupid because I have costumes that I haven't worn anywhere. Like C2E2, I was killing myself making a costume, and I'm like, why? I mean, I did it because I wanted to, and I'm happy I did it. And I did it because a friend of mine, so I did Megara, speaking of Disney, and I had specifically asked a friend to be my Hercules, so I had to do it because I talked a friend into cosplaying with me.
But, like, why are you even doing that when you have costumes you haven't worn yet? I say, with costumes in my closet that I haven't worn outside of my house yet.
Because I am an ADHD squirrel who sees shiny new things. The worst thing is, I haven't said this on air yet, but my costume addiction is so bad that it is not contained in my house anymore. Crayle knows this. Ruby doesn't. So I live next door to my parents. We're in a duplex. And I have run out of space for my costumes. I have a gigantic walk-in closet, right? Great. So the gigantic walk-in closet, you know, 2/3 of it is mine. 1/3 of it is my clothes. 1/3 of it is my husband's clothes. And 1/3 of it is costumes. And let's be real, like, the 2/3 that is mine, more than half of that is costumes. Like, my normal day clothes do not take up that much space. Then I have a whole corner of the room that is of the living room. Sorry, that is costume. Let me just show y'all. This is about to get really ridiculous. That's my costumes. It is not organized right now. It's bad. I don't know why my husband hasn't divorced me yet.
It's because you're so
I have
cute
that.
in the costumes. He's benefiting.
We'll go with that. So I have that, right? Right? The problem is I have a lot of dresses. So I got a freestanding hanger thing to keep, and I had nowhere to keep it. So it was in my living room, and then it collapsed. And my parents took pity on me, and they brought it next door and put it in their guest room, and then put my extra clothes in the closet in their guest room. So now I have a closet at my parents' house. So
Kelly, you put your costumes in my room? That's my room, not the guest room.
That's true. That's true. That is Crayle's room when she comes to stay. But so
Well,
so I've got a whole corner of the living room that's just a mess right now. I've got my closet in my bedroom, and then I've got a closet in another house.
that makes me
I have
feel
a problem.
that makes me feel a little better. I just have a closet, one of the standing thing like that you were talking about that you can hang stuff on, in a wardrobe in a room that are full of costumes. Some of those are my husband's. Okay, let me rephrase that. Like, there's 5 or 6 that are Mark's, and then the rest of them are mine. But part of mine is cloaks. We have lots of cloaks and capes in this house, and they take up space, but they're so worth
It
it.
takes up so much space. Yeah.
Yeah,
I keep collecting gowns. Sorry, go
I
on.
have a coat tree just for my capes and cloaks, and it's like falling over. I had to lean it up into the corner and wedge some of them in between like the little branches of it and the corner of the wall, and just make sure that there's always more weight on the side that leans into the corner. And it's meant to hold up like people's wet coats when they come in out of the rain. And I just have it so overloaded.
So if you all are still watching and or listening, this is a cry for help.
No, it's not. I'm definitely not crying for help.
Help us move into bigger houses with more room for our costumes. Just send us like cosplay storage unit money, okay? Like go to patreon.com/Phoenix SIS cosplay, and if you make a note to send for us to send some to Ruby too, we will honor that. You know,
Ruby deserves it. Ruby deserves it. Yes. I have room in my backyard to build a freestanding structure for my costumes. So, that is my cry for help. Save my marriage. Make sure my parents still like me.
what's really funny is so I have an in-home office that's like a tax thing, right? Where it's official and you like measure off like the number of like square feet and stuff like that. And because I manage all of our brands, because we're an entertainment brand now too, and I physically make art that I sell and stuff like that, my in-home office, the closet is just costumes overflowing out of it. We didn't even install doors. So this wall behind me, we built this. This used to all just be one big empty carpeted basement that was just a big rectangle. And so we put a room over there and we made it my office. It's the biggest room in the house. And then so the closet is like 8 feet long and a little deeper than normal closet depth. And we just didn't put doors on it because we knew this was going to happen. We were like, I mean, we've got the structure in it for when we sell the house. We can put one of those sliding mirrors in that's standard size, but we just didn't do it yet because we were like, this is the cosplay closet. We know eventually all this stuff's just going to start like exploding outward. So room to grow.
And if you are out there watching, thinking that you might want to date and or marry a cosplayer, run for the hills. This is a warning. Red flags. Red flags.
Unless you're also a cosplayer, and then you just have to figure out a way to get even more space for both your stuff.
I mean, then you're just screwed. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I always say that my poor husband, I wasn't a cosplayer when we got together. So
he didn't even know what he was getting into.
Well, you know what? It's his fault because he was like, you're into geeky things. Why do you hide it?
So, yep, Thomas's fault.
Well, for us, Mark was like, this cosplay thing, I think I kind of like it. But the first time I wear a costume, it's going to be something that I can cover my face in case I hate it. No one knows it's me. Multiple years later, he runs around dressed as Shazam, Captain Marvel on a regular basis because, well, why not? Or a Musketeer.
I love you, babe. My husband Thomas just commented, for better or worse, babe. I love my hubby.
I love you too, Thomas. Thomas knows that I love him, but it's also my husband with friends telling my husband that they love him. Actually, just recently, this is slightly off topic, but it's really cute. My friend who was helping me work a convention 2 weekends ago, I got off the phone with David and was like, yeah, I love you, bye. And he was like, yeah, I love you, David. And David just hung up. And I was like, that's okay. My friend Jen, who's the other friend who works conventions with me that this friend knows from the convention circuit, I was like, that's okay. He never says it back to Jen either. So the three of us are in the car, me, my friend Alex, and my friend Jen. And I get off the phone with David. And I'm like, okay, I love you, bye. And I hang up, and Jen didn't get to yell, I love you, David. So she texts it to him right after I've gotten off the phone. And it's like, I love you, David. And he sends back, I love you too, LOL. So Alex texts David. The three of us are in the car. David is not here, okay? Alex texts David, just, David, what the hell? With no context. And immediately, 1 second later, Alex gets an answer back, hey, I've known her longer.
And then you told me the story the next day, and I sent David a message immediately. I love you. And he was like, I love you too.
Alex was still in our house. So Alex texts him again, even though he's sitting right next to him. He just stares at him while texting. He's like, David, what the hell? So our husband's love has to be earned. It takes years.
Yep. Meanwhile, I meet someone at a con, and while I'm in line with them, they tell me I don't look my age, and I'm like, I love you so much. What's your name? I'm still friends with that person like 6 years later. I do love her. She's awesome.
David
But
McDonald,
yeah,
my husband says, love you guys, LOL. So he loves Ruby too. He's known Ruby longer than he's known Kelly, so.
Yeah, we do love you, David. David cooks for me every time I come to visit, and he is Cuban. So he makes Cuban food, and it is amazing. So David, I really love you. Food is the way to my heart.
Yeah. He even tries his hardest to adjust the spice level for you. He does not always succeed, but he tries.
He tries, because I love the taste of spicy food, but spicy food does not love my white girl taste buds.
Well, and what's funny is for Cuban food, like, it doesn't have to be. And then on top of that, his mom didn't make the food all that spicy, if I'm remembering right. So, like, that's all on him. He just can't remember to tone it down when we have guests.
It's all right. He tries. He does pretty good most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, coming back from the tangent, Ruby, I know we've already asked you this question, but it's so worth asking again because so I'm going to give you the full screen. So, what advice would you, and I'll make this a two-part question. What advice would you give to someone just starting out in cosplay? And also, second part of the question, what advice would you give to someone going to Disney for the first time?
So for cosplay, find a character you like. And for your first costume, it can be something simple where you don't have to do a lot of makeup, you don't have to do wigs. Just try it, see if you like it, and if you like it, start to learn new skills and add stuff. I know a lot of times we look at like cosplayers on TV or in social media, and they've got like these great costumes. Most of them have been doing it for a while, or they have some help doing it. So you're not going to start wonderful build up. Going to Disney for the first time. First, I'll find you a Disney travel planner, because they will be able to help you get better deals. They'll be able to help you get those meals that you want. But also go in with a little bit of a plan for your must-dos. Like, we have a couple of meals that we have to make sure we get every time. We have a show that we want to make sure we shoot for every time. We always want to make sure we go to Galaxy's Edge, but for the most part, we're just like, all right, here's some fun things we want to do. Don't super plan every minute, because something's gonna happen and you're gonna end up missing out on something. One of our trips we went to, I had a migraine the day we arrived. Luckily, it wasn't a park day, but the next day was our breakfast at Cinderella's Castle, and I had never had breakfast in there. I was super excited, and I was gonna get a mimosa. I woke up late. I was feeling hungover from the migraine the night before, so we almost missed our breakfast. And then I got to the breakfast and realized I didn't have my ID and started bawling because I couldn't have a mimosa. Luckily, I was like, okay, this is just post migraine, and was able to get myself together. But don't have things like that planned that if it fails, your trip's ruined.
Excellent advice. And Ruby, where can people find you if they want to follow you on social media and see all your awesome Disney bones?
So T-Shirt Cosplay, both on Facebook and on Instagram. I post on Instagram primarily just because I typically have my phone everywhere I go, so it's easier to do. But there is some stuff on Facebook. When I'm working on a project, if I remember to take work in progress pictures, those will be on Facebook. Instagram's usually the final product.
Sounds good. And Crayle, where can people find you?
So you can find my Pokemon art is the only thing that I'm not super buddied up with Kelly on, and that you can find the actual web store is on my personal website. I'm slowly moving things to be a little more branded, but it's CrayleVanest.com, CrayleV as in Victor, ANEST.com. If you go /homepage, that's what takes you to the Pokeballs by Crayle web store. So that's what we played the little ad for there in the beginning. I go to a lot of conventions. This weekend, I'm going to be at MetrothemCon in Chattanooga. So if you're in East Tennessee, come see me. Tell you what, if you tell me you found me from my podcasts, I will actually even cut you a deal. Like I will give you a freebie or figure something out to do for you. Like I love my podcast family. I love my cosplay family. Like the Pokemon art is like the other half of my passion. So when they meet, it just makes me so happy. And then Kelly, where can we find you?
So linktree.com/Phoenix's cosplay has all of our stuff, including a link to where to get my books and where to find our podcast stuff, where to find our Phoenix Sisters entertainment stuff. On May 26th, I'm going to be in Kenosha at Studio Moonfall for a book fest. So that's going to be fun. If you're in the Kenosha, Wisconsin area, definitely come out. In June, Crayle and I are both going to be at Times of Future Past. So we're going to be official characters there. We're going to be running we are already running ads on our social media, but it's a really fun, it's kind of a Renaissance fair meets just pretty much every era of time is embraced. It's a super fun festival. We did it last year, back when it was in Wisconsin, and had a blast. So that's pretty much where you can find me, both in person and online. So other than that, I'm going to play our network video, and thank you all for tuning in. Oh,
Also, right after the network video, we're going to be airing Chubby Unicorns. It's a 1 minute and 20 seconds. It's really funny, but our friend Cade, who does Cartoon Commotions on this same network, this is one of his newest projects, and it's really funny. So if you stick around past the outro video, we've got a 1 minute and 20 second episode of Chubby Unicorns that is just really funny. So
yes, thank you.
And we'll see you all. Oh gosh, is it this Friday is the next episode?
This Friday is the next episode. We're doing Gajinka, which is anthropomorphic or humanized Pokemon. So,
and I can't be on the episode because I'm working. It makes me so sad because I have the perfect costume for this. I'll have to submit.
No, I know. Well, thank you all. I hope you have a magical week.
Bye.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean. Elvis Presley, yeah, he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
you want to go on a quest?
What?
You know, a quest, an adventure to someplace else to experience stuff.
Sounds like work.
It might be a little work, but it would be magical.
Would I have to leave this field right here?
Well, I mean, yeah, it could take us away from this location.
Sounds like effort, not magic.
There'd be a little effort, but it could take us to places that we've never dreamed possible.
I like it here, in this spot, right here. I am not moving.
Kinda sorta sounds like you don't want to go on a quest now.
Kinda does, doesn't it?
Well, I want to go on a quest. My heart calls me to the quest. My mind beckons me to the quest. My tongue seeks the tasty sensation of questing. I think if the right unicorn came along and offered to go on a quest with me, I'd take that chance.
Hey, anybody out here fancy a quest?
Sounds like work.
Wanna go on a quest? No, not really. What about now? Still not happening. Come, let's embark. Sounds like work. It sounds like adventure. Now don't be a jerk. I'm not going anywhere. You'd rather die right here. Hey, you figured out, dude. You wrecked the rhyming thing. I don't really care. That's the ticket. This song's stupid. I'm done.